Rose,
shall I start?
As the professional vegan on this podcast and as a vegan for a very long time, do you want to tell us kind of how
the story
and how you kind of started and began your vegan journey?
Damn, Daniel, you'll be a good interviewer. Mm-hmm. You'll be interviewing me.
Okay, I'm getting practice, you know?
Okay, so I'll take you back, guys, to when I was a little girl. I was born in Korea, which, at least at that time, because I was born quite a long time ago, people.
You old.
I'll be old as hell. So I was born in Korea, and at that time, there was pretty much no such thing as vegetarianism even. I mean, at least as far as I knew. Obviously, I was just in my own little, circle, my own little bubble, if you will. And I didn't know anybody that was vegetarian. I didn't know it was a thing. And animal rights was not really an issue. And I just had no idea about any of this stuff. I moved to Canada when I was 8. And even then, I moved to Alberta, which is where Daniel and I both are from. Yeah. And Alberta is known for what, Daniel?
It's known for Alberta prime beef.
Yeah.
It's known for beef and it's known for oil. It's like seriously, we are the Texas of Canada, okay?
Yeah. So they call Alberta the Texas of Canada. Alberta is the province. Yeah. And the reason why it's called Texas of Canada is because it's the most conservative province in Canada. Yeah. And also, we're known for oil and gas. That's the main industry here, which is why we're crumbling to pieces at this moment. Yeah. And also known for Alberta beef. So when you drive around like the rural areas of Alberta, you see just like a bunch of cattle, like a lot of them. Anyways, so needless to say, I didn't know, again, any vegetarians, anything of that sort. I ate meat. I ate all kinds of animal products growing up. So I had no idea that this was even, a thing, Yeah. So then I went into, I think what started was, I got my dog when I was 16 years old, my dog Minnie, who passed away a few years ago. Still very sad about it. Yeah. I think that was the first time I really felt kind of connected to an animal, because before that I had never really. So it made me realize that we're actually very similar in many ways. You can see the little personality shining through. Of course, we communicate very differently, but you can see them when they're sad, when they're happy, when they're, when they're scared, when they're, shy, whatever it is. You can see those little personality traits, and you can also see when they're in pain or something.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I really opened my eyes to oh my God, animals are really not that different. But again, I wasn't vegan or vegetarian at that time. And I think the next step was in university, I took a philosophy class.
Yeah.
And it was about moral issues. It was contemporary moral issues. And the main... there were a couple of different topics. There were many different topics actually that we discussed, like abortion, euthanasia, kind of, controversial ethical topics. And the one that stood out to me the most, because I had never come across this topic before in terms of discussion, was animal rights. So before this, did I not tell you this story, Daniel?
I don't remember this part of it. No.
Oh, clearly you don't watch any of my videos. Continuing.
Well, if you send them to me, I definitely didn't watch them.
Touche, God. Oh. Anyways. So what was I saying? Oh, so I took the philosophy class, and before this I had just, I'm a big fan of debating, discussing controversial topics. So for someone like that to never have come across a very controversial topic, it was very interesting for me, because before, for example, abortion, I had talked to so many different people about that topic, especially in high school and stuff. I went to a Catholic high school, so this was a big discussion. And also, even euthanasia, that was a discussion that we've had before. But animal rights, never have I ever discussed that from, on any level. So I found that really interesting. So to do that in an academic setting was very interesting. Yeah. And the professor, I remember, basically the structure of the course would be that we would discuss the arguments for and against kind of, and just kind of compare and study, to see what we can find. Yeah. And the arguments for the animal rights argument just made so much more sense.
Yeah.
And anything that the counter argument would say, there would always be a way to counter that from the animal rights perspective. It would be almost impossible to argue.